Welcome. Hello. This is Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
Right here, HUDRadio.com. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. We're in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. BMW of Atlantic City. We're off exit 37 in the Parkway. Find them online, BMWofAtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you none other than by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Sean Redden, Rob Povey behind the ones and twos. We'll have Teron Davenport join us at 9:15 from the Eagles Wire at USA Today. So that'll be fun. We'll break down all things Eagles Cowboys. But going off deeper into the show, we'll go World Series Game 1 recap. We'll talk about reactions on Game 2 right now. Cubs up 2-0. We'll get into that later on. Dissect the Sixers opening night, the roster, predictions, win total, all that fun stuff. JoJo's playing ball right now. Nick Stauskas making shots.
Got a score check, buddy?
Huh?
So we got a score update?
We do got the score update if you want that right now. We can go right to the score update. It's 39-38. You're 10-9/8.
76 eyes.
2 fingers included, so.
The 2-fingered salute.
Well, we'll take a quick look back. Eagles, Vikings. Recap it. We weren't on since the demolish that we did to Sam Bradford and the Minnesota Vikings. We'll get into that a little bit.
But two of us actually called that. One of us, Mr. Redden, did not.
Stay on that side,
Played
Sean.
it safe. I played it
Stay
safe.
on that side. Stay right there, please.
Know your role.
Don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. We'll move forward. Eagles, Cowboys beat Dallas, which our poll question is all diving into beating Dallas. How do you beat them? Who will the Eagles have to shut down in order to beat the Cowboys? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. Brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. Real simple. Prescott, Elliott, Beasley,
Bryant.
or the X Factor.
The X Factor.
Or the X Factor. So that's our poll question is Eagles-Cowboys rivalry. This is the 115th meeting, including the playoffs. So it continues, boys, and we won the first one, and we've won the most recent one. Let's keep it going. Keep it going.
Absolutely.
So right into the poll. Right into the poll question.
Diving in both feet.
Go right in, and we'll get Teron on, and we'll get his opinion 9:15. So right now, dive on in, Mr. Mataraki.
Well, for me, it's Zeke Elliott. I feel like, Sean, you and I were talking about this a little bit before we went on the air. I feel like if the Birds can stop the run, the Cowboys have yet to ask Dak Prescott to basically go out and win a game for them. He's been more than a game manager. I don't want to insult the kid by saying he was a game manager because he's been playing well, but he hasn't had to put that team on his shoulders yet and go out and win a game. If the Birds can shut down Zeke Elliott and basically take that running game out of the picture, out of the equation, and put that game on Dak Prescott's shoulders, I think the Birds have a real good shot to come out of there with a win.
And I agree with you, Mike. I think Zeke has to be the guy you have to stop to win this game. And I'm a little concerned about that because the Eagles, you saw it against the Redskins, you saw it against the Lions. They got gashed by the running game, and that's the 2 games they lost. And it was solely based on the fact that they couldn't stop the run or contain the running back out the backfield. And I really choose Zeke off a process of elimination. Dez is coming back. Is he really healthy? Is he not? But, I mean, he can't really hurt you. Dak don't ever push the ball down the field. And then if Cole Beasley is a guy that you're worried about hurting you, you got real problems with your team.
I don't know. I mean, Beasley's been good. I mean, he's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be.
He's been his go-to
He's
guy.
been a PPR machine.
Yeah, he's been his go-to guy. There's no question about that. But
I love the fantasy reference, the PPR machine.
the Cowboys rank 3rd in third down efficiency in all the league. So what does that tell you? That goes right in this getting
third and short.
Yeah, 3rd and short. A lot of them. And that's where Beasley becomes real effective for you. Now, to your guys' point, you got to stop Zeke because you got to get them in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s, long downs because you want to pin your ears back. You're first in the league in sacks a game right now. So you want to continue that. And if you're in 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s, even 3rd and 5 manageable downs for them, that's when it becomes tough. So I'm going Ezekiel too. I mean, it starts with them in the running game.
Yep.
That's their power. Their power's up front on the offensive line. A lot of money, a lot of draft picks spent. And listen, they're monsters up front. But for some reason, when we go there, we step up stopping the run. And I expect a lot of the same this week.
It's really strange how that happens, too. Like, you would think when they come here, you'd be much more successful stopping the run in your home stadium. But like you said, it's completely flipped. Like, they've had real success running the ball against us in Philadelphia. But when we go down there, it's definitely balls out and stop the run.
Well, look, I mean, we played better at home, obviously. I mean, we talked about it weeks ago and before that about good defenses, great defense, how they travel. This defense needs to travel this weekend. We've seen domination at home, and we can put them as a top 5 defense at home. Mm-hmm. But away from home, we can't. With what our eyes have told us, we can't put them in the top 5. So this is going to be that big test. Hey, can you – listen, we've seen too many getting gashed by their runs. What was the stat you had earlier about Ezekiel?
The Eagles have given up the most yards of 20 yards or more, and Ezekiel Elliott has the most runs of 20 yards or more in the NFL.
Interesting stat.
And you would assume it evens out.
Yeah, you hope that these things even out. I mean, Sunday Night Football. It's a big matchup, prime time. We were talking about the prime time numbers, and it's about as close as it can be in prime time. I think I want to say it's 9 to 8 birds in prime time, and that's just with the most recent Sunday night game last year included. So, for a while when it was just Monday Night Football, for whatever reason, the Cowboys seemed to be able to take it to the birds pretty good on Monday Night Football. But since that the big primetime game has moved to Sunday night, it's been mostly birds.
Well, that's what they're both rookies, Prescott and Wentz, and the Eagles did play on Monday night earlier this year. So Wentz is already exposed to that primetime national attention, and this is going to be Dak's first taste of it. It's going to be interesting to see how he reacts, knowing the whole nation's watching.
Yeah, I mean, the kid hasn't flinched yet. Mm-hmm. That's what concerns me. He hasn't, but this is a defense that can make you flinch. And that's what I'm expecting. And going back to traveling, I need them to step up. I need a guy like Fletcher Cox that not only play well at home, but to play well on the road. I'm the one thing that does concern me in the Beasley matchup is, man, Eric Rowe, that trade Eric Rowe doesn't look too good right now, does it, boys? But Malcolm Jenkins match up one-on-one with Cole Beasley. That's a matchup nightmare for us in terms of short downs. Mm-hmm. If we get in long downs, I'm more confident about that. But short downs, I feel like he can do a lot of damage to a guy like Malcolm. I do like Watkins back there. I think he's hitting, and I'm a big fan of my safeties hitting. McLeod hits. I think Watkins hits and Jenkins hits. But
the one part of that where I'm not going to say I'm going to disagree with you on, but the one reason that I actually do kind of like that matchup a little bit, and I agree with you, Beasley could definitely do some damage there, but I could also very easily see Malcolm Jenkins baiting Dak and just kind of laying back, and then when the time is right and Dak starts looking at Cole Beasley, all of a sudden, Malcolm jumps in there, boom, pick, and away we go. Malcolm's just he's that crafty kind of guy where as long as he's keeping everything in front of him, he's going to be okay. If Beasley somehow beats him over the top, that's a big problem. I mean, and I'm not talking deep balls, but I am talking that mid 15 to 18 yard type of thing. But don't be surprised to see Malcolm Jenkins sucker him in and get a pick.
I mean, I think the bigger matchup would be Dez Bryant on either Leotis McKelvin or Jalen Mills. I mean, you saw Stefon Diggs. Bradford missed a couple throws on Sunday, but you saw Stefon Diggs just flat out run past Jalen Mills multiple times on Sunday. And I don't know how Mills is going to be able to react. McKelvin, I think, could run step for step, but is he talented enough to go up and get a ball with Dez?
Well, can Dez run step for step right now?
That's what I was going to say. The other piece of that is, what kind of speed is Dez going to have out of the box?
And listen, we know how he is. I like Dez as a wide receiver in this league. I think he's physical and all that stuff. I hate him because he's a Cowboy, but he's a guy who's been known to also check out when he's not getting the football and create it. It's all about me type stuff. And if he's not getting the football early or we're dominating on the defense side of the football, you can check him out real easy. So that's my hope for him. But you got to come up, and I stack the box. So I'm interested to see what Jim Schwartz does Sunday night in terms of his defensive strategy. Does he go with the wide 9? Because, with them big maulers up front on their offensive line, that concerns me a little bit, getting to the second level and getting on our linebackers that aren't, big linebackers. We don't have a big linebacking core.
Well, I
like the way 2 of them tackle. The one actually started tackling when his brother came back.
Kendricks had a good game on Sunday. Eric must have took him out on Saturday. Ran through
some
drills.
I'll tell you what, though. I think the 2 guys, for me, that are going to have big games Sunday night, or at least they're going to have big games Sunday night, are 2 guys that you don't really hear a lot of talk about, but it's Vinny Curry and Marcus Smith. I think they need run-stopping defensive ends to play bigger in this game. Connor Barwin.
Who was that name again?
That was the two guys that we've harped on for the previous 2 off seasons now. That's Vinnie Curry and Marcus Smith. I mean, Connor Barwin and Brandon Graham are going to be in there on passing downs. There's no question about that. Brandon Graham, playing real well as a pass rush defensive
And he seems
end.
to always amp it up a little extra when he's in Dallas.
You're absolutely right. No question about that. But Marcus Smith...
That trade doesn't look as bad anymore,
No, it doesn't. But
not the trade, the not drafting
draft,
of Earl Thomas and going Brandon Graham doesn't look as bad.
It doesn't look quite as bad, but I'll tell you, the last 2 games, Marcus Smith has flashed, and maybe Jim Schwartz has finally found his strength is playing defensive end on running downs and being that up the field guy who's going to force everything back into the inside and then pursue and make the tackles.
Well, he's a big guy. He's not a small guy.
No, he's not.
The guy was buried on the bench under Chip Kelly in the 3-4 and never got a chance to really get on the field. You can't show me what you have until you're on the field. We talked to Mark Eckel a month ago or 2 months ago almost, about guys that are practice guys, but and then there's guys who practice bad. When the lights turn on, they show up. I don't give a shit what you do in practice, as AI would say. On the opening night for the Sixers, you got to go with that reference,
Absolutely.
practice. But I need guys who show up when the lights turn on. And the little spurts I've seen out of the kid, he gets up the field, right? He puts pressure on the quarterback, and he stopped the run essentially pretty well in his sporadic play. But you see some signs. And that's all we talked about in the offseason, which is, hey, show me your athleticism take over when you don't have to think as much, right? When you can put your hand in the dirt and read and react and not have to think about a million things. This is why schemes are so important to where guys sign or guys are drafted, determine how good they are, because some guys fit in certain spots. If you're not a 3-4 linebacker or a cover 2 safety and you got to go playing different schemes, now you have to think more instead of just going and playing football.
Well,
and that's real important.
Right, and I was going to say, they're not asking him to get to the quarterback. They're just telling him to go out and play.
Go play.
Just play.
Let's play. Just play. Don't worry about everybody saying you stink, this and that. Go play football.
Right.
Go do what you've done your whole life. Go play football. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And time will tell, but at least there's flashes.
Yeah. Well, you've seen it, yeah.
The other thing that I got a kick out of and Robbie, you obviously saw my draft of my view from the nest that I submitted after the game.
Yes, sir.
To be published sooner rather than later, once we get all of our publishing rights back. But the guy that we kind of killed last week, Jordan Hicks, suddenly shows up with 11 tackles, a sack, all over the field. I mean, now granted, the Vikings offense played right into his hands. I mean, they relied very heavily on Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata, and obviously once that didn't work, they took to the air, and we saw the same Sammy B that we saw last year.
I think it's a lot, it was the attitude on the Eagles. The way you watched them play and the way they went after Bradford, just pounding him. Even a couple seconds after he got rid of the ball, they still made sure they hit him. I think Schwartz told you pressure him, he's either going to collapse or he's going to turn the ball over. And I feel like they're going to go into Dallas with the same mentality. One, it's the biggest rival. City hates city, team hates team, coaches probably hate coaches.
People hate people,
and they're gonna try to go in there and make a statement, because I'm sure they're everybody's in their ears talking about how impressive Dak has been, what he did against the Packers, what he did against the Bengals. I'm sure they're ready to go in there and make a statement. And the guy who I think is gonna be the X factor on Sunday is Rodney McLeod, because that's the safety I see in the box all the time, making plays in the run game and the short passing game.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. To your point, hold on a second. Sorry, I was checking Sixers real quick. All tied up, 51.
Them hanging in there.
15 seconds left in the until halftime. Thunder's got the ball, so that's that. But no, and the thing about, and you said there was a mentality they played with, and you saw that they went out and got after it. And, Pro Football Focus doesn't look as dumb, because the week before they had Jordan Hicks, number 2 middle linebacker. We're saying, what are we missing? Boom, comes out with 11 tackles, comes and plays football. But, that's a team effort, too, because we talk about the wide 9 and what it brings and the pressure it puts on your linebacking core, because them guys got to get up the field. Mm-hmm. And if they're not getting up the field and creating havoc in the backfield, then it puts that pressure where, guards can pull and other guys can get on your – again, your small linebacking core and create gashes, and that's what goes back to, giving up big plays more than 20 yards in the run game.
Right. And I think biggest thing that concerns me too with this game is the cornerback depth. When Ron Brooks went out on Sunday, the Eagles only had 3 dressed corners. And now we know this week they've just signed Aaron Grimes, who was with the team in the preseason. Don't know if he's going to dress or not.
Yeah, he hasn't played football.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that they're going to promote C.J. Smith to the active roster finally. But, I mean, that's if you get another blow to that, like, God forbid, McKelvin, who's been injury-prone his entire career, goes down again. What are you going to do? Malcolm Jenkins is probably going to have to slide out.
Yeah, you can't. But this is what happens. You can't go get cute with the secondary, and they did with the road deal. Mm-hmm. They got cute, and they thought he was expendable. And looking back, knowing McKelvin's injury history and Carroll coming off an injury, you would think you want to be a little deeper there.
Right.
And listen, we can praise Howie when he does the right things, but we can also attack him when he does the wrong. And that was just a bad trade from the get-go. We're supposed to get a goddamn lineman back. We didn't even get a lineman back. So, I mean, and he's playing over there. Rose's playing.
Right, but remember.
Play for Bill.
No,
Bill will play if you can't play.
I understand that.
Damn it.
Remember, though, we talked about this, 8 weeks ago now, that when the Birds' final roster came out, they kept like a billion offensive linemen because they knew that Lane was going to get suspended. So it's all kind of evened out. But trade's not looking great.
What
I
also heard after that trade was, though, if they had gotten Klein, was the lineman they were supposed to get, Josh Gordon's an Eagle. Because I heard the Browns were going to agree to Aguilar, Klein, and a 4th-round pick for Josh Gordon. And who knows? I mean, we know now he's in rehab.
I think
I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he was like, all right, I'm catching passes from Cody Kessler. I'm going to go smoke some weed. I'll be back next year.
Sorry, boys. I didn't mean to be distracted. I'm getting killed on the book over here. Schwarber got a couple of hits, and now all of a sudden that people that are busting my stones because I said that Schwarber shouldn't be playing.
No, I'm in a complete 100% agreement
with you.
with you.
Mike.
When I saw he was in there batting 5th, are you kidding me? Yeah. He's played, 2 games, and that was the game?
And that's what I said. I said if the guy, first off, he didn't have a freaking hit this entire season before he got injured.
Right.
He was 0 for the season when he got injured. And then for him not to see Major League pitching, for the first, in months.
Yeah, he was hitting the same pitching as Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, that's what I said. And
Joe Madden might be a baseball genius. I stand by my point.
I'm in a complete agreement with you.
Over the course of a series, it's a mistake.
And last night,
you saw what happened.
I'm about to say, last night I saw exactly what I expected out of him. Nothing.
Yeah, when he faced Andrew, don't call me Trevor Miller.
Listen, I completely agree with you. I wanted to brought up Schwarber yet. I mean, I wanted to bring him up.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Listen, he was hitting balls in the Arizona Fall League where guys are throwing 92 down the pipe. We saw Tebow take 1 yard. I mean, that's where he's playing. I'm not saying the guy doesn't have talent, but I thought that was Joe Madden trying to out-cute himself and trying to get cute with the situation. But guess what? Listen, to us,
it is what it is.
The guy's a genius, but I still don't agree with you guys. I still don't agree. I still don't agree. Listen, we'll go to the phone lines. We got Teron Davenport, senior reporter, Eagles Wire at USA Today. Hey, Teron, thanks for joining Tom and Mike.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. Well, let's just dive right in. We got to get right into Eagles Cowboys here. We got our poll question running, and we might as well have you answer our poll question with us. Who do the Eagles have to shut down in order to beat the Cowboys? Who's your number one? Prescott, Elliott, Dez, or Beasley?
Well, I think that goes without saying that it's Ezekiel Elliott, the guy's leading the NFL in rushing. And when you look at having a young quarterback, a guy that, is fulfilling that game manager role with a high degree of success, what you have to do is force him to throw the football often. And in doing that, the first thing that you have to do in order to make that happen is stop the running game. And let's face it, this Cowboys team, you look at when they had DeMarco Murray back there, running the football, they ran with authority, and that's when they were at their best. So make no mistake about it, they want to run the football first. That's their MO. They put all those high picks in offensive linemen. So as a result, they're going to want to use those offensive linemen to run the football. So I say all that to say it's definitely stopping Ezekiel Elliott. I think that offense flows through him, and he's really the spark plug for that team.
We completely agree with you here. It starts with him. Trying to get Prescott in 3rd and longs and not 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s and put pressure on him to have to make plays. But talking about, the Eagles and the wide nine. What kind of adjustment do you think Jim Schwartz makes this weekend, stacking the box or bring guys in a little tighter from the wide nine to try to stop the running game?
I don't think they're going to stack the box often. I think really it's just going to be about alignment and assignment. Each of the guys, just like in the Vikings game, they have to remember to do their job, not over pursue. They have to communicate because those toss crack runs are going to be coming. And that's one of those situations where, the guys in the secondary, the safety, has to tell them, crack, 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 crack. So that way the linebacker or even the defensive end in some cases will know that crack is coming, so that way they can prepare themselves and they don't get their clock clean. That's an opportunity. I remember, in playing, I used to love when they would send me in motion and, we would have 68 toss crack, and I would come in motion, from the right to the left and just get the tee off on the linebacker, especially when they didn't communicate, But when they communicate and he knows to turn and see that block, I tell you, it's a whole different degree of block that you're able to get because, he expects it coming. And obviously linebackers are typically bigger than wide receivers. So I say all that just looking at that game, it's going to be about knowing your assignment. Guys can't over pursue. The guys up front, they have to make sure that they rush, whether it be against the run or against the pass. They have to make sure they do that with discipline. Whereas they can't just, your job as a defensive lineman, the guys up front with a tackle or defensive end, get upfield. But you have to do it with discipline in that. You can't just run right by because the Cowboys like to run the dive out of shotgun. So in doing that, that's designed to beat a pass rush, an aggressive one, because those guys typically will run right by the running back. It's almost like a slingshot effect. So you have to be more disciplined with your pass rush. In addition to that, when you're rushing the pass, you have to make sure that you maintain your gap. You can't allow Dak Prescott to have those open running lanes because he will take off and run. The Eagles from time to time like to use man defense, and you're in man defense, you have the quarterback with an opportunity to run, and the defenders have their back to them because they're turning the runner with the man. And that's something that the Lions were able to do with Matt Stafford. So it's going to be just a matter of just staying with your job and doing what it is that you're asked to do within the scheme. And they don't need any heroes in this case. The Tina Turner song applies. You don't need a Maverick or anybody like that. You just, do your job, to use Bill Belichick's phrase.
So, Teron, that play when you go in motion from right to left, was that at Cheney?
Yes, that was at Cheney. And,
See, I'm a Westchester guy, so I got to dig into you on that a little bit.
Hey, it's all good. I scored my first touchdown. And see, here's the thing: when you're losing the way we did at Cheney, what you have to take solace in is your own personal victory. So, I scored my first college touchdown against Westchester, so
nice.
I'll get you back on that one.
All right, man, I like it. So you were talking about the defensive end staying in their lanes and not being overly aggressive, not trying to be a hero. Two of the guys that we identified right before you dialed in were Vinny Curry and Marcus Smith, with a lot more time from those two at defensive end specifically to play the run. What do you think?
I'm glad you mentioned Marcus Smith because he's gotten a bad rap. And I understand that prior to this season, the guy was very unproductive. But you have to look at something that I think really has factored into that. And it's funny because Jordan Matthews talked about this today at his press conference. He was talking about how much where you go in your situation has to do with your success. So you look at Marcus Smith. At the Senior Bowl, I remember they were doing a lot to see how he could do as far as rushing the passer, standing up, and he looked good in 1 week doing it, right? So all of a sudden, the thought was that he was going to be a really good first-round pick, in the 3-4 and make the transition. Well, he never did. And that's why he didn't play as well as you would expect from a first-round pick.
Yeah,
so now here he is playing a natural position. And he's actually, in my book, you're going to be surprised when I say this, but I think he's their best defensive end when it comes to defending the run.
Now, actually, we're not surprised at all because we were on him early in training camp when we saw the initial practices in the first preseason game, and we kind of felt on this show that he was actually a better fit for the wide nine as a hand in the dirt DN than he was a stand-up outside linebacker.
Yeah, Teron, I just thought that it was real simple. When you can put a guy in a position where, he doesn't have to think and he can just go play football and react. And I thought that was the big thing with Marcus Smith is you put him in a 3-4 just like you said, and now the guy's got to think, as well as being a rookie. And when you put him in a 4-3, he can put his hand in the dirt and, hey, go get the quarterback, stop the run. Go play football. And I thought that was a big help for him this year is getting back to a 4-3 where he can just go and just play football again.
Yeah, and that same thing goes for Brandon Graham. Actually, it's funny you say that because that's exactly what Brandon Graham told me in my first conversation. This is my first year on the Eagles beat, but my first conversation I had with Brandon Graham, that's exactly what he said. He's able to pin his ears back and rush the pass. You don't have to worry about looking at keys and distinguishing when you have to drop back at the coverage. You would just go do what you do, and that's get after the quarterback. So that's a great point. And see, the thing also with Marcus Smith that I really like is how he sets that edge. So even when it is a running play, he could see that it's a running play, and he won't let it get outside of him. I think an excellent example of that was against the Vikings. I believe it was third quarter, Asiata. They tried to run him outside, and there was literally nobody outside of Marcus Smith. If he would have gotten outside Marcus Smith, that would have been a long run. But Smith was able to set that edge aggressively, keep him from getting outside. He put his one arm out and he brought him down, and it ended up being a minimal gain. And, it could have been a huge play for the Vikings. So you definitely hit it on the spot with Marcus Smith. I think that he's a really good player in this scheme, and he's kind of what I call a fish back in water. So it's good to see him able to play in something that will use his skills to the fullest.
Hey, Teron, moving to the offensive side of the ball, the Eagles have really lacked production in the running game this year. Ryan Matthews has been kind of a disappointment. And with the fumble issues now, Lions and against the Vikings at the end of the game, do you expect him to still be the main feature back? Or do we see a lot more Wendell Smallwood and Kenyon Barner this week?
Well, I tell you, if it was up to me, Wendell Smallwood would get a lot more carries.
Amen.
Yeah, we're in agreement with you here.
I love the way he bangs it inside. That's something I saw him do at West Virginia. And you have some who say, oh, well, he's not 225 or 215 pounds, so you can't run him inside. That couldn't be further from the truth. The guy, you're not taking a hit every time you're running inside, so he could do that. I have no problem with it. He actually has some shiftiness with him, some wiggle. And I think they should run scrolls inside also. But with Smallwood, you also get the receiving threat. You have a guy who has the speed to get it to the outside when you want to run those stretch runs also. And I really think they need to get him incorporated into the offense. So Ryan Matthews is actually starting to show that he can't be trusted at the end of games. I mean, anytime you have a defensive back coming up, there's no way as a running back, no, you don't let a DB poke the ball out, especially knowing that that's what they're trying to do. Put two hands on the football, cover it, and if you want to fight for extra yards, great, but secure the football first and foremost.
Well, yeah, the thing about Wendell Smallwood that I like, and we've been talking about this for a while now, is when you get young backs, rookie backs, fresh legs, and they got the burst, it doesn't take the big adjustment like it does in other positions at running back. And now Ryan Matthews fumbling. I mean, the kid, I think Next Gen had him at 22.5 miles an hour on his kickoff return against Washington. The next quickest guy was, I think, Brandon Cooks, who we all know can fly. I want to get them kind of guys to football as much as I can.
Yeah, B. Cooks, man, that's my guy. I developed a good relationship with him through the draft process. And I always called him, I make him laugh because I called him Dash from The Incredibles. So he kind of took that nickname, and that's what he stuck with. But, when you have a guy like Wendell Smallwood, you definitely want to find ways to get him involved in the mix because he's such an explosive runner, and he showed it on that kickoff return. And I tell you, the other thing, we're not even seeing what he could do as a pass catcher. This guy's a natural receiver. He catches the ball naturally, and he can block. So there are, times where as a running back you have to maintain your blocks in the passing game. And for some rookies, that could keep them from being out on the field as a rookie. But, I don't think that's the case with Smallwood. They need to get him the ball. I still also, Darren Sproles, you have to get him more touches. And, I'm sure you guys want to get into the tight ends also, but, Sproles and Zach Ertz, these are two guys that they have to find the football. And it's unfortunate that they're not maximizing either of them.
I think the same thing for Sproles last year and under Chip Kelly. Besides his first year under Chip, it seemed like we just started going away from him. Chip Kelly went away from him, didn't utilize him enough, especially against linebackers one-on-one. And I'm starting to see the same things under Doug Peterson. I don't know, and I don't think it's Sproles losing a step. Do you, Teron?
No, he's not losing a step at all, man. That guy is still just as explosive as he's ever been. And you see that. You look at the play he had against the Steelers. You look at even what he did last week. He had a nice kind of ad-lib. One of the plays, it was a botched snap and went scrambled to the right, found him, and he gained a couple yards for them and set up that Dorial Green-Beckham touchdown. So it's just a matter of focusing on getting a guy to football. They said that in the beginning of the week, when they have their meetings, that's one of the first things that they look at. But what I'm finding with this Eagles team is, and this Eagles coaching staff, is they'll set their mind to doing something leading up to the game, but they'll allow the flow of the game to take them away from it. So, as a play caller, what I would like to see them do more is dictate to the defense how things are going to go, rather than allow how things are going to go be dictated to them.
That's a really interesting point, Teron, because it kind of leads me into my next question is, do you feel that that's a product of having a rookie quarterback in the backfield? One of the things that I wanted to specifically ask you about was, the Eagles got off to a 3-0 start, and between Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz, these two quarterbacks were the talk of the NFL. All of a sudden, the Eagles drop a couple of games, and the national media starts hammering Carson Wentz for what I honestly believe is no reason at all. Did he play well against the Vikings? No, not necessarily well, but he did enough to win the game. And, I'm curious to see what you think. Is he where he's supposed to be after 6 games? And, what are you seeing from the inside?
It's a team effort. I'm not going to say Wentz alone is winning the games. I will say, rightfully so, there's been some criticism for him, and it's just, when you're going to praise him, you have to be able to criticize him too. And I've said numerous times that I felt that he was truly NFL ready, and he's shown it with how he's played, but there are times where that ball sails on him. You cannot allow the ball to sail on you when you're throwing across the middle. You have to put that slant. Zach Ertz should have caught the football on the slant in the red zone, but you have to make that catch, make that ball a more catchable throw, the ball placement. That's what separates guys like Cam Newton and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. That's what separates them from guys like a Kirk Cousins or whoever else you want to name the middle-of-the-road quarterback. Ball placement. And that's something that he has to work on. He's a rookie, though. So, it's not like, that can't happen. But he does have to figure out a way to improve his accuracy. That's why they're working on his footwork and his target line. That's something that Peterson talked about. Just, especially when you're throwing to the left, you want to open your hip up. You want to step towards your target. You want to, find that back step, that rhythm. And when you are finished with your drop and then step forward and just lead to the target. And if you don't do that, that's how that inaccuracy happens. And that's what you're seeing from him. In addition to that, you're going to live and die by some of the features that set him apart as a quarterback. The gunslinger mentality. How many times have you heard him be in comparison to Brett Favre? Not because of, the greatness side of things, but because of the belief in themselves to squeeze the ball into spaces they don't have any business doing so. That's what you had against the Vikings, that interception by David Rose. He should not have thrown that ball, but if you look, there's 2 or 3 times earlier this season where he connected that throw, so naturally he's going to think that he could do that. And, those are just things that you're going to have as a byproduct when you have a guy who's going to sling it like Carson Wentz.
Well, Teron, it's interesting that you said that because I noticed from my seat a couple times during the game there were some shots that he could have taken after the second interception that he didn't take, and I wonder if it's because the coaching staff specifically had him dial it down a notch.
I'm curious about that also, and Peterson was actually asked that, and he said no, he wasn't asked him to dial it down. And that was after the game against the Lions where he took that shot on that last series, the interception, which was a bad throw also, by the way. But I don't think that they're going to ask him to dial it back because, that's kind of like, telling a race car driver that he can't drive fast. That's what he is.
Yeah, telling the dog not to bark.
So, yeah, exactly. So I doubt they'll do that, but hey, I've seen crazier things. I just really think they just have to let this guy just develop. I think that he could be a very good quarterback. I'm not going to call him elite, but, he's someone that you could definitely win with. He's already proven that.
Now, the past couple of days, the entire Eagles fan base has been kind of wrapped around Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffrey. In the past, it doesn't look like either of them is coming to Philly. But how do you think the Eagles are going to use the guy they actually did trade for in Dorial Green-Beckham? I feel like the past couple of weeks they actually made a conscious effort to get him involved. Now, last week he scored his first touchdown. Do you expect to see a more extended role for him in the offense?
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. He scored his first touchdown last week, but he played almost 20 less snaps than he did the previous week because they used less 11 personnel, less 3 receiver sets, and more 12 and 13 personnel. They've said over and over again that they're going to try to get him involved, but this is another case of where they're saying that that's what they're going to do, but it's not happening because they're allowing the game to dictate otherwise. And that's why you saw more double tight ends. That you saw 3 tight ends, and they had help over there on Vitai's side. So it's kind of the way the game is going is limiting them from doing that. However, when he's out there, you can definitely take those shots. He scored on the slant, and I know that he was as happy as could be to score on that slant because that's actually his favorite route. So we talk about that route a lot. And I enjoyed, going over that route and with him about how he could get inside and use his big body and keep the defender from being able to fight through him for the football. And he knows that that's his best attribute. And obviously the back shoulder is another option. So you're going to see them go to him more and more in the red zone. There was an opportunity for them to score. I believe it was which game was? I think it was the Lions game. Yeah, it was the Lions game because he was going against one of the smaller corners, and Wentz didn't give him a good ball. He was able to get to it and dropped it, but you want to see them take more advantage of those opportunities. I really like Beckham as a receiver. He's also a guy that can catch and run with the ball too. He's surprisingly quick for a guy that's 6'5", 237, 220, whatever he is, and they need to take advantage of that also. So
yeah, I'm in agreement with you.
Involved.
Because you can see, because a fan, we're kind of getting teased now because you just see the little flashes of what he can do with the ball. I would just like to see it on a more extended role.
Yeah, and at the same time, don't lose sight of Nelson Aguilar. I know he's been a disappointment to a lot of fans and media types, but the guy has a lot of ability. He's just not being used to his strength also because he's someone that he's a catch and run guy. You have to hit him in stride, allow him to catch the football, stick his foot in the ground, and get upfield. That's what he specializes in. Now, they're using him on deep balls a lot, and that's something I can understand because he is so good at the line of scrimmage. So, if they walk a corner up and they press him, then make that check to a deep throw. But if he's getting that free release, work him across the middle on those digs, on those crosses, the slants, and things like that, and allow him to catch the football and get yards for you afterwards. So that's something with Aguilar that I would like to see more. Another guy, Josh Huff, they have a nice package for him that allows them to, high percentage throw. Jordan Matthews in the slot, he's able to use his size, and they've used Green Beckham inside also. I think it's just a matter of using these receivers more, and unfortunately, because of how that offense is built, how that team is built, there aren't enough footballs to spread them around. I specifically asked Wentz today about getting the football to Zach Ertz, and I mean, he said it. I would like to get the ball to everybody a bit more and complete more passes, but it's just, the way the game plan is going, the way the game flows, it just doesn't allow me to get it to everyone. So that tells you.
And Teron, one of the things you had just mentioned was the tight ends, the 2 tight end set and a 3 tight end set. And one of the things that I noticed on Sunday was, I think it was 3 times they came out trips to the right side with all 3 tight ends. They pulled a linebacker, a corner, and a safety out to the right side. And every time they came out in that formation, they ran read option to the left side with Wentz keeping the ball. Any concerns on your part about predictability with that formation, or do you think that was just a wrinkle for the Vikings game to get Kendricks and their strong secondary kind of flowing more to one side of the field?
I think it was just a wrinkle. I don't really think that there should be any concern about predictability for the Eagles. Now, I will say one of the Redskins linebackers said that they knew exactly what the Eagles were doing on every play. But at the same time, you still have to stop it. And with that formation, that setup, I don't see any reason why they don't pass the ball out of that setup. Because if you get a corner matched up against Zach Ertz, matched up against Trey Burton, these are guys that can out-muscle them. Throw that back shoulder. Throw that slant. Take advantage of that matchup that you have out there. And that's what they have to do. So I think that formation, and that's the beauty of their 3 tight end set, is that they could get defenses in their big defense, with have an extra linebacker in or something like that, or even get them out of nickel packages, and they could still have, in essence, 2 or 3 receivers on the field because Ertz and Burton run routes like receivers. So it gives them options. You can walk them out, you can flex them, and just take advantage. So I'm not worried about predictability. I wouldn't be concerned there. I think it's just a matter of, again, taking advantage of matchups.
Yeah, and especially with the Cowboys. I mean, they're allow the 22nd most yards in the league defensively, and it's really an offense where I think the Eagles can take advantage of on some big plays. But I think we got to get down right to it. Teron, what's your prediction this Sunday night?
Oh man, well, prediction. I try to stick to the reporting side of things, but prediction-wise, I mean, I think it's tough to beat that Dallas Cowboys team. And the home field advantage is something that's always just that, an advantage. So I would say the Cowboys pull this game off. I think it's going to be close because divisional rivalries are usually close. But I think Dallas wins this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, we get homered up over here sometimes. we get homered up and we get locked in, and we give our predictions with our hearts at times. But I mean, last week I think for most of us, I mean, I love that game last week, just the way the NFL works, and I really felt the Eagles were going to beat the Vikings just because the league just evens itself out sometimes. But I don't disagree with you because Dallas is a good football team, and if we can't stop the run, we could be in for a long one the way we get gashed.
Well, here's the thing. These teams are pretty evenly matched. I think if they could find a way to get a score on special teams, that'll surely help them. But the key is really going to be getting out to a fresh start. Matthews has said it in the past about the offense, how they have to play with more of a certain sense of urgency early. And you saw it in the Redskins, even in Detroit. Let me tell you, man, Ford Field was loud, very loud in the beginning of that game. And make no mistake about it, that defense, that team itself just got behind it. And just the same, the link last week was loud and that momentum. Each of the defenders that I talked to, they said that they were able to just ride that momentum, that energy that you guys brought. So definitely, as a fan, you guys should feel like you had part in that win. But when you look at going down to Dallas, obviously there's going to be Eagles fans there. But, I mean, if Dallas gets off to a fast start, it's going to be loud in there. And there's energy that those guys are going to be able to feed off of. So momentum is the key. If they could eliminate that momentum for the Cowboys early, then they have a shot. But otherwise, it's going to be a long night.
So I think the key is you got to win the toss and take the ball.
Yeah, take the ball, score first, and try to make them one-dimensional quickly. Teron, listen, I really enjoy reading all your stuff, all your coverage on the Eagles. Let everybody know where they can find you, your Twitter handle, Facebook, and all the good stuff.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I appreciate it. You can find me on Twitter at @TDavenport_NFL. You could also, Teron Davenport on Facebook. What else? I'm on Instagram. I forget my Instagram name, but
We all do.
I'm on there too. And every Friday, rather, you can catch me on CSN Sportsnet Central. I'll be on there giving Eagles analysis, and be sure daily throughout the day check out the EaglesWire.usatoday.com.
Hey, Teron, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you taking time out.
No problem. You guys have a good one. Keep up the great work with the show.
Thanks Teron. Appreciate it.
That was Teron Davenport calling in, USA Today reporter for The Beat, Eagles Wire. So we're going to take a break. We gave our predictions. We didn't give predictions, so we're saving that goods for you. Yeah. We'll talk a little 10-9-8, your 76ers. 60-59 OKC right now, hanging in.
It's tight.
It's real tight. Should have taken the Sixers tonight. We'll get in the World Series conversation and all that more. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
Right here, A2DRadio.com. And it was brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, your certified public accountant. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com, as well as BMW of Atlantic City. We're off exit 37 in the Parkway. Find them online, BMW of Atlantic City.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer, LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
We're back. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2DRadio.com. We're live from the BMW Atlantic City studios. We're in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. BMW Atlantic City. We're off exit 37 of the Parkway. Find them online, BMWAtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, your certified public accountant. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Sean Redden, Rob Povey on the ones and twos. We thank Teron Davenport, Eagles Wire, USA Today, for calling in, hopping in on the phone lines,
Great
breaking
job
it
by
down.
Teron, yeah.
Phenomenal job. Love reading his articles, following his coverage. You can find Teron Davenport, Twitter, Facebook, Insta. He didn't remember his. I don't remember mine. I mean, I don't blame him on that one because that's all. When you got so many, I'm in the same boat. Like, oh my God, what's this one? What's this one? What's this one?
I'm too old
Christ.
for that.
On my show, somebody asked me what it was. And I'm like, I totally guessed. I'm like, Pove_A2D radio. And then right after the show, I went and checked.
Was it right?
Yeah, that's right. I got lucky.
Bang.
Good work by you.
Bang. Our poll question that you can vote on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Obviously, I'll say the frig again for you. HED Radio is where you can find us. And I want to say one more thing. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. But that's just for another situation. Just FYI. I like this throwing things out there, seeing if they stick. Who will is brought
it's going to stick, all right.
Our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find on the web, scanzanosports.com. Who will the Eagles have to shut down in order to beat Dallas? Well, I mean, it's Ezekiel to all four of us.
Yeah.
And Teron, one of them. So, it wasn't a question where, you had to really think. But it is because you can think deeper into the other guys because you got to stop everybody to win games.
Hold on, Tommy. Let's go to our resident Cowboys fan.
Oh, Robbie.
And bring him into the discussion. Robbie, so.
Well, real quick, his brother Joe Povia chiming in says, all the above. Who is also a Cowboys fan.
Your brother's a bigger cockroach than you.
I'm the baby cockroach.
You're
He's
the
the daddy
baby
cockroach.
cockroach. The little cockroach.
We let them come around now. We let the babies stick.
The little
you know what I mean?
cockroach.
The big ones are the ones you got to get the good flow in.
So
get them out.
So Robbie, the question to you is, as a Cowboys fan, what are you most concerned with? Who do you feel really has to get going for the Cowboys to win the game? Is it Elliott or is it the passing game?
First, to the earlier point, I'm going to say I'm a very impressionable youth. I was when I was young, and me and my brother bonded so well over it. So that's why I have all these eclectic tastes in teams. But no, the answer is that you have to stop Ezekiel Elliott and make Dak Prescott beat you. That may happen. That may not happen. But that's the key. You got to zone in on that first. If you can effectively own that line of scrimmage, then you can start maybe faking some blitzes, popping some guys out to bounce in coverage, eliminate Cole Beasley over the middle, and whether it be Des Bryant or Bryce, you got to cover
Bryce
him.
Butler,
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
it's funny because he actually worries me more than Des Bryant, to be honest with you. I'm not convinced that Des is healthy, but I don't think there's a corner on the Eagles roster that can run with Bryce Butler.
but the safety that Sean said before, I really liked his play in the Vikings.
McLeod,
Yeah. And that's what really hurts the Cowboys in running their routes, tricky safety play.
Shutout's over.
Shutout's over. Good.
I got some.
Jake's starting to get hit around a little bit.
Good.
I got some sad Philadelphia sports news that just broke.
Just broke. Go ahead.
Philadelphia Union have just been eliminated from the MLS playoffs.
Oh, my God. That cockroach son of a bitch over PI and everybody is really going to be butthurt about that one. I'll take shots. I'm a fan of shots. I don't care. But, listen, I think we're going to expose their defense. I really do. The defense is not – they're getting lucky like they did 2 years ago because of the running game. And listen, Dak is not Romo. I mean, say what you want, he's playing well, but prime Romo, is not Dak Prescott right now. We can all agree on that. Kid's playing well. I'm not trying to take too much away from his play, but he's not Romo prime. Okay, and forget the playoff wins and all the extra shit. The guy can throw 35. So you know what I mean? He was a slinger. So he's not him. So I feel good about us stopping the run when you try to become one-dimensional against us as well.
When
everybody knows you're running the ball, and I think our defense matches up knowing you're going to run the ball, but I think that we can expose them defensively.
Now,
I really do. I don't think they're that good.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just going to give you the counterpoint to that.
Please,
the thing that concerns me is they went into Green Bay, and Green Bay was the number one ranked defense against the run.
That Green Bay defense is fraudulent.
And I agree with you.
That's what I was going to say.
I would say, I agree.
They had a lot of good matchups.
I was going to say, I agree. And I do feel that Green Bay was definitely overrated going into that, but they dominated Green Bay.
The Eagles Sunday is going to be
different, though.
This Sunday is going to be the best defense the Cowboys play all year. Well, not all year, but to this point.
To this point.
It's going to be the best defense they face.
Yeah, and that's where you find it out.
And I think that's not the
case.
And I think that's not the case with the Eagles offense. I think they faced tough. Well, obviously they faced tougher D last week with the Vikings. But
sorry, JoJo. JoJo. 75-69. You're 10-9-8. JoJo,
Wow.
another bucket. They're chanting MVP.
Do we got a box score on this guy?
Oh, we can pull a box.
He's on the FanDuel roster. I can see what he's got.
Is he up to 20 yet?
But listen, real quick, back to the Eagles. I think this is – listen, Morris Claiborne's played well. I've given him a ton of respect on air throughout this process. I gave Byron Jones a ton of respect.
I really like Byron Jones.
When you can move corners to safeties with cover skills and he can hit, I like what they've done there. But at the end of the day, I don't trust that defense. I don't trust that front seven. Sean Lee's a good player, but he's hit away from being out of the game. But the rest of the front six – I would say I don't trust. I know they're getting Randy Gregory and other guys. These aren't game changers. They're not all pro. These are okay players. They're getting back, depth in their defensive line. But I'm not in love with that defense. Offensively, they've done extremely well because they've been able to pound the ball down your throat. They got the NFL's leading rusher. But listen, if there's a time for some of these wide receivers to get going, it's a time for Wentz to get back on track. I think this is the defense that they get it done against. I really do.
That's exactly. I'll wait for the prediction part of the show.
I'll
I'll throw that out there. Yeah.
Sunday after initial reaction, that was 24-21 Eagles. That has changed.
Mm-hmm.
That has changed.
Just real quick, Mike, just for you. Embiid has 11 points, 7 rebounds, and a block.
But Sean, the big question: how many minutes, Mr.
Yeah,
Radin?
that is
right.
15.
Yeah.
So he's got 5 left. He's got 5
left
in the fourth quarter. He got 5
left in the tank.
In 3 quarters, he's played 15 minutes. So he's running 5-minute runs.
JoJo, I love it.
Now,
Don't you run from us, JoJo. What's that from? What's that from? Come on. What you gonna do? Come on, JoJo. Right, the tire man, JoJo, the tire man. Come on, Bad Boys 1.
So here you go, Tommy.
JoJo. Sorry, I just can't. I love it.
Now, if I asked you who is the Sixers' leading scorer tonight, your answer would be
Nick Stauskas.
Yeah. The crumb that is Stauskas. He just got himself another 5 years in the league.
And hold on though, the third man in double figures. Spanish chocolate himself, Sergio Rodriguez.
Sergio.
What's Dario looking like right now?
He's filling it up. 20 minutes, 5 points,
somebody needs a minute.
2 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks.
Gonna miss a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Dario.
You know what? The stat that I like is when they give you the plus minus. So you look and Not surprisingly, T.J. McConnell's a -9. Hollis Thompson's a -7. Rocco +9. Sergio Rodriguez +15.
Listen, Hinkie died for your sins. He would love them analytics. I mean, that's what up Hinkie's alley. Woo, baby.
See, I bring that second level thinking.
He would find a way to trade Rodriguez for about 4 first-round picks.
He would. He would sling him all around.
Based
He would
on
fleece everybody.
Based on the scoring differential.
He'd be like, look, he's +15.
He you play like NBA, 17. You know what I mean? And you just fleecing GM. You turn trade off, and you just fleece everybody. That's Hinkie got ran out of the leg for fleecing everybody.
Yeah.
People say we got to get this guy out of here. He knows a little too much. It was money basketball, really what it was. And you know how I feel about money basketball or money ball. Period.
Right.
That's small market bullshit. What do your eyes tell you? But listen, at the end of the day, we got picks, we got players, and the luster I was talking about earlier in the preview before before the fix came on, and then us, that has it lost its luster a little bit tonight? Now I know Embiid's playing, so you get jazzed up about that because you finally get to see him play. But because of no Simmons again, because of another season where you're starting and then you have no Simmons, no Noel to start the season, does it lose a little luster to you boys?
Not for me.
Okay. We've been waiting too long for Embiid.
Yeah, I was going to say for me, it's the combination of, and Sean, to your point, we've waited 2 years now for Embiid and Saric.
Yep.
And I've said it multiple times, and I will keep saying it. I feel like Saric's game translates way better to the NBA than a lot of people give him credit for. Noel, he's a nice player. I'm not heartbroken about not being able to see him, but and Tommy, to your point, I think the fact that it's been coming out now a couple times over the last few days that Simmons is not sitting out the entire season. He's actually targeting a return at some point in January. That's kind of got me now in the mindset that if this team can hover within 5 games of 500 when Ben Simmons comes back, could this actually be a playoff team? I mean...
Well, I thought it was before he got hurt.
Seriously. I think if you had him, Saric, Embiid, Okafor, Noel, in the East, that sounds like a playoff roster to me.
I actually think it's a blessing because what happens now is they can figure out over the course of the first 2.5 months of the season what their weaknesses are, what their needs are. Mm-hmm. And when Simmons is ready to come back, if they need him to run point, if they need him to play the 3, the 4, whatever, they can figure out where they have the biggest need and plug him in because he's so versatile that he could run point on offense and then cover your stretch 4 on defense.
Well, yes, real quick, you're talking about Simmons. Well, he can also decide as well what he decides he wants to do, depending like where the season's going.
That's what I was going to say. I
yeah.
think if you're out of it and this year's looking like it's been the past 2, you ain't going to see Simmons at all this year. He's going to be like, what's the point of me coming out and risking a re-injury to what, get double-digit wins, to get 15 wins? I think if you're out of contention or at least not on the cusp of being a contention team, I don't think you see Simmons at all this year.
I disagree, but there's a caveat to it. I think if he can come back and play enough games to be eligible for Rookie of the Year, he comes back. It's a little selfish, but I don't care. I'm all for it.
Yeah, selfishly, I want to see him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, selfishly talking, obviously I want to see the kid play now. But I think it's going to determine where we're at, to Sean's point and what we're talking about. But to Mike, but he can also stay out the whole year, come back and win
still win Rookie of the Year
next year. So it's really going to depend on where his health is. I mean, how he feels, and that's an injury. Like, listen, I think it was like 14 out of 18 had to get it done again. So I err on the side of caution with that and say, you know what, if we're not in it, there's no point in you coming back.
Yeah, then I kind of don't want to see it.
I'd rather hinky you, sit you down, and get you right, because next year, we can then make a run.
Right.
Because it's not like, he's still going to at some point travel with the team and all them kind of things. So he's learning, NBA life, and we know how that goes. I mean, it's double teaming women and the rest of the nonsense that goes on.
People in streets of Boston.
Going 104 over to Ben, whatever it is. But at least he gets experience NBA life, all jokes aside. And I think that's big. So at the end of the day, it's sort of like the Embiid Noel situation, because they both were around, and when they started getting right, they were training. Mm-hmm. So I'm not. I mean, the rebuild of a rebuild, and we all know what comes next. I don't want again.
Yeah.
But I'm willing, and I said this last freaking year, and I'm about to say it again. I can't deal with 10. You know what I mean? But I need good basketball, competitive basketball. I can soak in for 1 year.
That's what I think you're going to see. Even if they are record-wise a bad team this year, I think you're going to see a lot of good basketball around it. Because instead of having T.J. McConnell be your starting 1, with Stauskas your starting 2, Covington your 3, you got guys like Henderson. You got guys like Sergio Rodriguez. Bayless is going to come in eventually. You're going to see veterans around here. Plus, you got Saric, Embiid, Okafor, Noel. You're going to see a basketball team that's worth watching. Even if they don't win many games, it's not going to be like the past years where it's like 10 people in the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, exactly. Because now, listen, JoJo's bringing people. He just got fouled again. Ryan Berto chiming in. They're going crazy every time he scores. They're going nuts at the Wells Fargo. I freaking love it. His post game. I mean, Steven Adams is a pretty decent post defender in this league.
And Entis Canner, too. I mean, they're all.
At the end of the day, I'll say it a million freaking times. We got a Jordan jersey on the wall. Guys like that can win inside out. You understand that? But at the end of the day, you win inside out in the NBA. I don't care about the Jack City, the 3.
You saw where that got him last night.
Yes. You still got you need big men to win in this league. The big Aristotle, the big Cactus, the Diesel would not appreciate people disrespecting the inside game and how important it is.
We got a Connor Barwin sighting at the Sixers game. Which is interesting
he's
because
there with M. Night Shyamalan, right?
I don't know if it's M. Night.
M. Night Shyamalan tweeted yesterday that I didn't even know this guy was from Philly. He tweeted yesterday.
Seriously, that's a violation on you.
I'm not into that weird shit. I don't know.
If you don't know that M. Night Shyamalan's movies are all set in and around Philadelphia, that's a violation.
I had no clue.
Stop stepping on my damn
I just
cord.
read a tweet last night from him that said he had bought season tickets to the Sixers and that he was bringing Barwin tonight.
Well, Barwin,
with him.
Nice.
Barwin actually.
So maybe it's a sign.
The last time I was there, which was late last year, Barwin was actually there. I think Barwin actually has his own set of season tickets, but apparently not. Barwin is not the only one there. There's several members.
They're bringing the city out tonight.
Several members of the Eagles in attendance. Ryan Brodo's reporting that the Eagles players are going crazy every time Embiid touches the ball. Crowd's going crazy every time Embiid scores.
And you had Ryan Howard ringing the bell before the game.
It's great to have basketball that means something back in Philadelphia, even if it's for a short period of time.
Well, they said when Embiid got introduced, a bunch of people on Twitter said it was the loudest the building has ever been since Iverson's prime.
That's because the process was coming to fruition.
Right, you even got fans flipping off Russell Westbrook.
Oh, it's phenomenal. You can go right to our Facebook page, atdradio.com. You can find that picture. And that's what we say. We'll give 2 fingers to anybody that didn't trust the process. That's a little present we have for you. So, listen, I mean, it's definitely more exciting. It would have been great to have Simmons, and that was definitely a blow to the season in terms of our excitement level. And again, we didn't get we never got the Wiggins that we were supposed to get.
This year was supposed to be that year.
And we finally got him. But guess what? You look at the way Embiid's playing, and I still love Oak a lot because I think guys who can score on the paint are few and far between in this league that can score at will down there. And I love Noel, and that's the problem. So, I mean, the Sixers are going to have to figure that out down the line on what they're going to do with these big men. But I think it's really interesting that Noel all of a sudden, listen, you can scope big guys' knees whenever you want to and put them out 7 to 10. And that's all this was, is a scope to put you out 7 to 10 because it looks like all things I'm reading, everywhere I go, everything I hear is Noel's the one out the door. And guess what? I don't like it.
Me either. I think I would love to see Simmons and Noel, two big guys, running the floor.
Yeah,
There's
agree.
not a lot of big guys that are going to keep up with Noel in a foot race.
Yeah, Noel, Simmons,
and then
and
you got
Embiid can all
Simmons
run.
pushing the ball. I'm just having a flash of just Lob City Simmons up to Noel coming, and they probably never even going to get to see it.
No, and I keep hearing reports back for just not.
But I don't think
equal
it's
enough talent.
I don't think it's necessarily Noel's fault though. His contract's up first, so in order for them to keep him, the Sixers would have to move Okafor and re-sign Noel. Noel's contract's up after this year. I think they're just looking at that as all right. He's gone. Move forward.
Well, that's what we talked about last week, that if the Sixers were to re-sign him, he's going to wind up getting Mozgov money.
He's going to get a max.
Mozgov money is absolutely ridiculous because the guy hasn't done anything to earn that kind of money.
Timothy.
No, and the one thing he hasn't.
I'm sorry, Nerlens Noel, as much as I love the guy, he's not worth 4 years at $30 million a year.
He hasn't shown it at least, if he is.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I love all the intangible he brings because they're guys you need. But again, he's not worth max money. So, but again,
but in the NBA, that's what he's going to get.
Yeah, but I need
everybody gets. Max money.
I need equal value in return, and all the deals that I see coming back are not equal value. So guess what I do? I don't move just to move. I hold on. I have no problem holding on to assets till the deadline if I need to. Or just holding on and see if I can work something out.
Right.
Now, what seems like with Noel, I think he's made some kid comments early on.
I think he just kind of wants a solution to the problem.
Yeah, and I don't know that. I think these guys are missing, and this is selfishness. And actually, if that's how it's going to be, I don't want them. But they got to buy in. I hate to say the process, but buy in to playing.
Got to trust
when you can run out with 5 bigs in a given night. Come on, man, you're fresher. Your team's going to win more.
Right.
So if you got to look at a big freaking picture and not about me. Because at the end of the day, Ben Simmons is a 1 and a 2. Okay? You can play with back to the basket. That guy's going to handle the goddamn basketball when it's all said and done. So you still got – who knows? I think Dario's a good player.
Yep.
But we don't know yet.
Yeah.
So how about you go out and – sorry, I just spit across the room because I got so damn excited. But how about you actually go out and win a goddamn job then?
Right.
Because I like competition in sports. At any level, all the way up. Kids all the way up. Nothing should be given to you. And Nerlens, to Mike's point, hasn't earned the right to have anything given to him. I think he does a lot of great things. He filled up the box score. But if you're great, we would have won already. Yeah. If you're great, we would have won more than 10 games.
The draft took it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Moody would be a Sixer right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I like Oak because I like what he brings back to the basket. But I wish he could run the court better. But guess what? He's a perfect guy to come off as your second unit guy. Mm-hmm. So
And see
how it works.
I know he's not healthy right now, but I love Jared Bayless as your point guard.
I like him just because he's a veteran.
Right, but I mean, I just love the fact that you can let McConnell go out there and see, let the game come to him.
Well, how much playing time do you think McConnell gets when Bayless comes back with the way Rodriguez is playing?
It's interesting that you say that because what I could actually see happening is McConnell's going to start. Bayless is going to come off the bench. Rodriguez, I mean, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to get his minutes. But what I can see happening is you could then run Bayless also off the ball. Because for a point guard, the guy's got a real solid outside shot. And one of the things that the Sixers lack in terms of backcourt, especially if Saric is playing on one of the bigs, is they don't have a good off-the-ball defender. And that's where you're going to get your money's worth out of Bayless. Gerald Henderson, I like him. not a good
He's
defender.
just a guy. Just a guy.
He's a
yeah.
guy. He's not a good defender.
Yeah, he can
can
shoot a little bit.
Yeah, he can fill it up for you if he gets hot. But he's you know, I
He's
honestly,
no Nick Stauskas
Right.
offensively. I'll tell you.
Oh.
that.
but I could honestly see a situation, especially late in games, if the Sixers are holding a lead,
Like right now.
where the backcourt is actually Bayless and Rodriguez, and they're taking care of the ball, and they're both good off the ball defenders.
Oak just got manned up by Steven Adams in the paint, 82, 81.
Stash.
Sixers.
Steven Adams is a good ball player.
But listen, I think McConnell more is you know a
He's
12-minute a
he's
night or
a
a
game
10-minute.
manager.
I think he'll play 10 minutes a night, maybe 12, because I like Rodriguez's game, and obviously Bales is a veteran. Well, Jeremy Grant's is shooting everything. Go ahead, Oak. Big rebound. End the foul. See, that's what he brings to the table, though. Like, he gives it up defensively.
That is that. He
But
just
he gets
can't
a good
play a lick
rebound.
of D.
Yeah, he gets a good rebound, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, Mike, I think he plays 12 minutes a night, 15. You know, I don't think there's anybody who's, I don't think there's a guy that's running 35.
No.
I don't think Bayless
No,
or Rodriguez are running 30.
You don't have a
Not
guy on
35,
that
no.
team yet.
No, the only-
The only guy that would have been that guy is Simmons.
So the way I look at it is you use them all in different
Yeah.
spots, and that's where Brett Brown.
Well, he said that. He said that when he spoke earlier in the week. He said he plans on going 10 deep with his rotation.
Well, guess what? This is now where you start to get more talent on a roster, and I'm not saying anything special, but now it's where the coaching comes in more and more. Now you can start judging.
That's what
Brett
I
Brown
said.
as a
That's
coach.
exactly what I said. I said this year, because people were talking when Frank Vogel got fired, and guys like Thibodeau, and they were like, "Oh, right now we should make a move. We should go get a proven coach." I'm like, dude, you have no clue whether the hell Brett Brown could be a good coach in the NBA.
I said to a guy the other day.
He hasn't had a team to coach
Yeah,
yet.
In a group, I was arguing with a guy the other day, and I said, "Listen, you could put Phil Jackson as a head coach last year; they might win 11." Okay, so no, you get talent wins at the end of the day. It wins, and I'm not saying they're going to win 30 or 40 games this year, but if you see progress in the win total, and you see you see good coaching decisions. This guy deserves the process too. Damn it,
Right.
I mean, the shit deck he got dealt from day one. I mean, and the guy signed an extension.
He came here and coached high school players for 2 years, and then you're going to fire him because Frank freaking Vogel
Yeah,
is
Frank
available.
Vogel, he's a guy.
There's a reason why he went and he's coaching the Magic right now.
Rocco, 3-ball, 87, 81.
You stop it.
He's jacked up.
No,
over
he's
there.
jacked. He'll be drinking tonight some syrup.
Little Hennessy.
We're not reporting that. We're just saying it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get off the app then because I think we're watching it might have a little bit of a delay.
Oh, yeah, I got the delay. I'm
All
going to ESPN Watch.
I was
the
going to say
worldwide leader of bullshit, always
Yeah.
on a goddamn delay.
You're calling
Grow up, Peter Pan.
You're calling 87, 81, and I'm like,
He's like, I got 65, 60 over here.
no, actually, I got 87, 85.
Oh, don't you do that.
Stop it.
Damn it. Now I got to get to another.
I'm going to shut it off.
Let me get back to what we're.
Quit doing what you're doing.
Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. Find on our web, gibsonmayer.com. Just join us as Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
Tom Arnone, Michael Maddock, Sean Radden, Rob Povey on the ones and twos, BMW Atlantic City Studios. Find BMW Atlantic City right off exit 37 at the Parkway. Find them online, bmwatlanticcity.com. Listen, it's time of the season. Different sports are coming up, blah, 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 blah. Get yourself into the best in the business sports outlet for all your sporting needs. 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey. Find them on the web, sportsoutletinc.com. So there you go. There's a couple plugs.
There we go.
Plug away, and then we get back.
I
So,
did have a response from the Big Cockroach, if you guys want to hear it.
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead.
He goes, tell them they better get their can of raid out if they expect to win on Sunday.
That's no problem. I got a bunch in the house.
That's what I would.
Don't you eat
Well,
that,
man, I'm
Joe.
gonna wait.
Don't
I'm
eat
gonna
that.
wait. I'm not- I'm
Don't
gonna wait
watch
for the
your
prediction.
food this weekend, Joe.
So boys, while we're getting to the final minutes of the Sixers game here, looks like the World Series is about to go 1-1 in Cleveland. Do we have a World Series prediction?
Oh.
I got Cleveland in 7. I said it Sunday. I'm going to stick to it.
All right. Robbie?
Wow. I'm surprised you're kicking it to me.
I'm just going around the horn.
Okay.
You are next to me, Rob.
I'm going to say
Sort of. Like I can't see you, but you're next to me.
I can't see
see
so
you.
good.
I'm going to say the Cubbies in 6. I say Kluber wins on the road in Chicago, and then the Cubs finally take a road game in Game 6 and take it.
Ooh, Cubs on the road, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Wrigley still doesn't see a World Series.
Yeah, where it goes at, I was going to say the Cubbies in 6.
Well, you can say Cubbies in 6.
But yeah, I think they get it done.
I'm going Cubs in 7.
Oh, wow. Knowing guy with the Indians?
They beat. I think
Oh,
they.
wow. I think you guys are underestimating that
I
ballpark.
think now, Rob, to
I
your
just
point,
think it's time.
I don't think it's time.
I think
It's time for the Indians, too. 67 goddamn years for
I
that
think,
fan base.
but I think for if the Cubs win, it's great for Eagles fans. And I said this last
Is
week.
it?
I think something changes in the universe. Like we
shift?
finally get a Super Bowl.
The
Like,
shift?
I just think it's gonna.
Well, Mike,
The
I
drought
want
breaker.
one-
Hold on a
Yeah.
second.
Hold on, one Wednesday, I want to start a show with strictly us figuring out what is the curse of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what I want to spend a big portion of a first segment on.
All right,
It's diving in to what the hell's our curse.
I-
We got Billy Goats. At least you can go kill a goat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I gotta do.
Bartman,
All right, I gotta-
Bartman, you can run him out of town. Go ahead.
I got to do two things real quick, Robbie. To your point, I agree with you. Kluber wins Game 4. I think Kluber gets boat raced in Game 7 for a Cubs win. I think he just gets to the point where he is completely
Shot.
gassed, and that's it.
I love it. I
Kyle
love being-
Schwarber would have walked.
Stop. I love being the only guy in a goddamn room.
Now, Mr.
That's
Arnone,
going Indians.
to your point,
Love it.
history of NFL champions. Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys 5. 71, 77, 92, 93, 95. So to Cowboys fans, what have you done for me lately? Eagles 3, 48, 49, 60. Also, what have you done for me lately? But there is no curse there. They have won an NFL championship.
Doesn't
It just
count.
happened.
There's something
It
with
just
this-
happened to be 50.
There's something with the
56 years
Super
ago.
Bowl.
Yeah,
though.
it's a Super Bowl
it's
curse.
Super Bowl.
I feel like it's the curse.
They're like-
I'll say it again, Reggie.
Did like Vince Lombardi
had-
get
No,
like mugged in
because
Philly
they
or
would have
something?
won.
Or Norman.
They would have won the goddamn Super Bowl in 2005 if Bill Belichick didn't have fucking cameras.
How about Norm? Is it Norman Braman?
They would have
Is
won the
curse of
Super
Norman
Bowl.
Braman?
They would have won the
Who is
Super
it?
You know
Bowl
what?
in 08
Fuck that
too.
guy too.
Yeah, that's what I said. Who is it? Who's the reason?
I have the solution. Hire Theo Epstein. He's your new GM.
He is the curse
It
breaker.
can't hurt.
He is the curse breaker.
Then again, Howie Roseman, you can't. You,
Well, if you leave it up to the Duke, you bring Terry Francona in to coach the Eagles because he can do anything.
Terry seems to be able to do anything.
I'm a
yeah.
huge fan of Frank.
I
You know what?
love Terry. I love Tito.
always been a big
I
fan.
am too, but I said it on social media today. There's not a snowball's chance in hell he ever comes back. To
No,
Philadelphia.
no
no.
chance.
If the Indians win it this year, I think he's just like, all right, I'm out. See you in Cooperstown.
No, see, I disagree. I think he stays, but I think once he's done with the Indians,
oh, he's done.
He's
yeah.
done.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Tom raised the question on Agree to Disagree. Who would you rather have? Who do you prefer? Terry Francona or Joe Madden? And there was a lot of love given to Joe Madden.
Francona, I'm taking
I go
Francona.
Tito.
I'm
all
with
day.
you.
Prove
I think Francona does more with less. He really
Always
does.
has.
Yeah.
Always has.
Yeah.
he does.
I like Joe a lot. I mean, they're both geniuses.
Oh,
Hey,
no,
listen,
absolutely.
Try not to suck. Joe Madden.
I mean, Joe. Yeah, Joe's the best.
Well-
but I love Tito. If you ask me again, like I'll take Tito.
Right.
I would.
You remember way back in
Man,
the day,
that's
I
a
called
tough
into your
question.
show, and it was right when Ryan Sandberg was shit can. You weren't sure, what was going to be in term or full
He
term.
was a shit can. He quit.
Yeah, he quit.
Now, Robbie, it's actually interesting that you brought up that question because when Tito got the Boston job,
Right.
the guy he beat out for the Boston job was Joe Madden, and that's when Joe Madden wound up taking the Tampa job.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I mean, I just would prefer Terry Francona. Like, honestly, if there was ever, a parting the ways with the Indians, that's the first manager I'm calling.
What were you going to say, Rob, to me in terms of when you called in about Sandberg?
That's what I said. I said immediately drop the name Terry Francona right away, as a preference over Joe Madden. It's great that we get to see them two go at it together and get,
see
a
who
result.
comes out.
Yeah.
See who comes out.
Are they the two best managers in baseball?
No, I'm going with Bochy. I would have Bochy over Madden.
Would you have Bochy over Francona?
No,
I don't.
because Brochi's had stability. Terry's never had stability. Terry's gone different places.
Francona-
Bruce has been a stable in
Epstein?
San Fran. So
Yeah.
he's been there so long, and when you're there so long, now you're your hand in the pot, and you're making a lot of baseball decisions too. Where Terry's gone and has had a rebuild. Almost
Yeah.
was in
I was gonna say-
not rebuild, but the Indians were a young and upcoming team, and they've gotten better. And Boston, the same similar situation. Boston had more talent more stardom, I would say.
Well, it's
but two
it-
different scenarios
right.
where he's won.
Well, it's interesting, though, because a lot of people say that it's a lot harder to be a National League manager because there's more moves you have to make.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I actually look at it the other way. I think it's harder to be an American League manager because you have to get 9 guys out every time through the lineup, whereas in the National League, shorter lineup, you basically have a free out every time through.
Yeah. I agree with that. But that's to your point with Francona. What he's on the verge of doing in Cleveland if they win is what we always been talking about with Epstein on the verge of doing in Chicago. He managed the Red Sox, broke the Bambino curse. Now he's going to Cleveland, giving them their first championship in 50 years. Going to give credit to Epstein. You got to give credit to Francona.
Yeah, that's great because look at how this circles in together. Both broke the curse of the Bambino, and now both are in positions to break droughts and curses. We're talking the Indians, 67 years. I mean, we all know the Cubs, but that's a big time freaking drought.
But that's the thing is,
that's a drought.
Theo Epstein, though, he's like the guy. He's like
the kids like to say,
but he's like,
guy's thirsty.
He's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the curse of a Bambino, a Billy Goat, you name it. He's like, I
got a mathematical solution.
He's like, but you're right, Sean. You're right. He's like, I just come in here, I put a team together, they go out and they win. That's how I roll.
Oh, Rob, real quick, because I just got the update. I know you posted something about it on the book earlier. Your boy opted out. 2 years left in the deal.
It's not official. He's got to wait till the end of the World Series to do it, but the writing's on the wall, and it's what he's got to do, man. I mean, would anybody?
You think he's coming back?
It wouldn't be the smart move for the Mets, and I'll tell you why. Because, I mean, granted, he's been an offensive juggernaut in our lineup. His loss will be felt, but I think they could make up for it with younger players like Conforto and Nimmo. You got a young Dominic Smith that's going to be working up through the ranks. All guys that are way down in the arbitration ladder. But who's coming up on arbitration is all those stud pitchers. I would guarantee that I have money to pay and keep as many of them together as possible.
Real quick, let's go predictions and get the hell out.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm
let's
down.
go predictions. You boys can start it off.
Mr. Redden?
Oh, you want me to go?
Absolutely.
All right.
No foul call.
You lost last week. You go first.
Oh, but Pete had a chance. No foul call. Sixers up 1. Go ahead.
All right, that's fine. I'm going with the Eagles. Originally, I thought it was going to be close, but I just really think this is a coming out party for Carson Wentz. I think he's going to throw a couple touchdowns, 250, 300 yards, and I think this defense shows up. I'm going with the Eagles 24-10.
Ooh.
I like that.
24-10. I am going Caleb Sturgis field goal at the gun. At the gun. Birds 27-24.
Yeah, I had 24-21 Birds. I'm moving that up a little bit. I'm gonna go 27-17 Eagles.
Ooh.
And I think it's a coming out party for a certain wide receiver. I think this is the week Nelson Aguilar has a big week. I really do. I think he's got a lot of heat. And some rightfully so and some not so. I mean, he's caught some real good balls in traffic, okay? And I think it's a combination of a couple things. One, getting chemistry with your quarterback. These are all kids that are all starting to play together. So that's a big part of it. And I think as time goes on, all three of them are going to work better together and better routes. But I seen him make good catches this year, which I didn't see last year. Okay, so I see that little bit of progress. Mm-hmm. I think he goes over 100, and he's got a touch or two this week.
Ooh.
Listen, I'm not. You come on, bump me all day with them corners. I'm not scared of that secondary. There's some decent,
that's why
there's decent talent.
I think this is Carson Wentz coming out party this week. I think they're going to come out and let the kid air it out.
Mr. Cowboys fan?
You want me to end your Eagle show with Cowboys predictions?
No, because after you're done, I'll just say some more things.
Yeah. I like your style.
I'm like, we got 2 minutes left. Get your prediction out.
Real quick, tie game, 95-95, OKC with the ball, minute 40 left.
Right.
Clock's ticking.
This week marks the return of...
Sorry, big rebound, Dario!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of a big rebound. It's a big rebound for DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's going to be making Carson Wentz day a living hell, working against Big V. He's going to make him look like Big Pussy from The Sopranos.
Ooh.
Big V gets to Big P.
Take him on a fishing trip.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
That's what when he said that, I was, who?
You don't know who DeMarcus Lawrence
I know
is?
exactly who he is. I'm not concerned.
Okay.
Give us a score, brother.
Yeah, well, that's the bit. You know what I mean? Can't let you come in here, clean sweep us.
He just threw a quick jab.
Why you think I put on the cockiness? 27-17 Cowboys.
Ooh, he flipped you.
You
Tommy.
flip me!
He
Did you flip me?
He flipped you.
Don't you? I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. Ricky Robbie.
Well, I could go either way, man. I had a different prediction.
Oh,
I disagree.
with all due respect, I could go either way, man.
Well, I think with all our predictions, this is a game that can go either way. Last week we got the hammer out, we got the nails. I got the picture up there of hammer and nails. If you remember the old '93 Phillies, and nails got out the hammer, and we locked in the lock of the week last week. And you can't do that every week, obviously, like we talked about. But I feel good about it. You get that feel good, Sean, right? And Mike, I feel good about the Eagles traveling well this week. They're not, if you look at it, all right, the Cowboys are a 5-1 football team.
Nope.
6-1, right?
Nope. I don't see it.
Right? You don't see them turning into a 6-1 football
Right.
team, right? So that would be,
I didn't see the Vikings going 6-0, and I don't see the Cowboys.
and that's
going
how I look at
6-1.
these things. So the Eagles are 4-2. Cowboys are 5-1. I think they're both 5-2 football teams. I don't think they're 6-1 or 4-3 because in my eyes I don't know shit. Right? I don't know shit. So that's another reason where I look deeper into it like that and I say, well, how does the league work?
This will be the most watched Sunday night football game this season, guaranteed.
Let's fucking go. Right? I mean, let's go. Sorry. I mean, I'll say it again. I said it. It needed to be said. That's when the F drop
it's appropriate.
works.
Yeah.
It works at times. God, Sean.
But no, that's why, because this game's in Dallas, that's why I'm all on board for the Eagles. They always win in Dallas for some reason.
They put 110 roaches. You know, they turn the lights
No,
on.
they don't. They put about 50-50. That's why the Cowboys have no home field advantage.
It is true.
Ever.
Jerry's world is gigantic, and you know what? It's such a great. Oh, that's a great.
You got Bengals fans in there watching.
Yeah, but
the
this
Eagles
is why.
Cowboys.
This is to your point. To your point, multiple times over, though, Tommy. This is why Jerry was a genius.
Yeah.
Jerry knows that opposing fans travel well to Dallas, so he built a 110-seat stadium so that he could just get the revenue from the opposing team's fans.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. JoJo ties it at 97. Under 50 seconds to go.
Are we going OT? Or are we just going to stick with this till the Sixers
we can stick
game
with
is
it because
over?
we can run the bet as long as we need to. That's not going to.
We're running a
Hold on. 21 minutes, 20 points.
minutes.
21 minutes, 20 points. I'm telling you, this minute restriction's going to bed. JoJo's for real. Even if we lose this game, he's still for real. So Gerald Henderson has fouled Russell Westbrook, so he'll go to the line. Unfreaking believable, Gerald.
Eat them points.
Hands to your
Westbrook.
side, Gerald. Hands out.
FanDuel.
Hands out. Hands out. Damn it.
It's gonna say it's funny
Yeah.
you're talking about who's doing what. Meanwhile, Sean and I, the degenerates, are both going to the FanDuel.
Yeah, I
Go
was
get it.
Eat that free throw numbers up, Russell.
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I've done it before, but not in a tie game, Sean.
See, now I'm different with basketball. Like I'll never whatever.
Not with this team. We need W's. We need to feel good. Listen, too many times this young team was going to a locker room after losing. They need to start feeling what it's like to go after some wins. You need to compile some. Right, boys? It's not good. It's not good chemistry.
No, I would love
Look
for
what you treated. Look what Nerlens well. Of course he wants out. He's dealt with.
Yeah.
He's never lost that much in his freaking life.
I would love for this team to be 1-0 just so they have a winning record at some point this year.
Who do you go to now? 35 seconds left. You go back to JoJo?
I'm going to Ja.
Ooh, I'm going right to the Joe.
Yeah.
I'm giving right to
I-
ball.
well,
That's my
here-
moose
the way
dog.
it is- here's your thing,
The
though.
way this night's been going, I'm having Stauskas pull a three.
I might
Ooh, for the win.
I might have them go high-low, and have JoJo at the top of the key, and Ja down low, and work it down to Ja. And if it's not there, have him just kick it right to JoJo for a little dream shake at the top of the key.
This is where we talk about. This is where drawing up plays. You know, it's not like you have terrible talent on the court right now like you did last year. You're rolling out a decent five.
The worst thing that could happen right now would be either Stauskas or Rocco taking the shot.
You give the ball to Joe and let Joe do what he.
Yeah,
what
you
he's
gotta let him be the guy.
doing. 20 points in 21 minutes. I gotta give him the ball. Let the double come
If Joe,
and then the kick.
If Joel
right?
Embiid hits a game winner tonight, there's gonna be a lot of babies being made, and
Named
they're all
Joel.
gonna be named Joel.
Everybody's named Joel.
But only in West Philly.
Or just Hinky.
Because they're the only people watching it right
It'll
now.
be like, oh, I'm a kid. It'll be Hinky Arnott.
It's West Philly and us.
Sam Hinkie Arno.
Hinky Sam Arnott.
I got a quick question for you guys. So
Don't you have a sister named Sam Arnott?
Yeah, I do. Which that sounded strange when I threw the hanky when I went hanky in front.
What do you think? What do you got for their win total? And who do you got winning the NBA championship?
Oh,
Throw you a little
Yeah,
question.
we were supposed to
a la
get there.
HOJ.
supposed to hit that, but we
We were
got
supposed to hit that.
caught
Rob.
up in the excitement.
Hold on,
That's why you got the best producer
JoJo
in
with the
biz.
ball. JoJo to the rack. Oh, no call. No call. All right, no call. He went strong too. Still Sixers ball. They keep it. Should be a fresh 24. Let me see.
All right, Robbie, I'm going to give you.
Sorry, boys.
I'm gonna
Just
give
keeping the world updated.
I'm going to give you what you want here. I'm going to give you two different win totals. One, if Simmons returns this year. One, if he does not. If Simmons returns, I'm going 35. If he does not, I'm going 29.
35-29 over under.
30. Well, that's what I'm saying is, personally, I think he himself is good enough to win you 6 games. So I'm saying 35 if he returns, 29 if he does not. My NBA champion is San Antonio Spurs. I think they do it without Timmy, just to show that they can do it, and Pop is the man.
Fair enough.
Sean, go ahead.
What are we doing? Win predictions? Win
Win
predictions?
Sixers win total,
And then NBA champ?
NBA champ.
You got it.
Without Simmons, 25. With Simmons, 35.
Ooh, you got him more than 10.
Just because
10.
I think not only Simmons, he makes everybody else better with the way he plays. And for my NBA champion, I'm going with a repeat. I think LeBron is more hungry now that he felt like Golden State had to go add a superstar just to beat him. And Kyrie is on another level right now. He picked up right where he left off in the NBA Finals, and then they added Dunleavy to that roster as well. Richard Jefferson is still balling. I think Cleveland repeats.
I completely agree with you. I look around the league, and I just nobody scares me. You know, if I'm Cleveland, who really scares me? You know, Golden State. I mean, outside of that, really, and I think they got an easy path to get back, and if they get back, everything's up in the air.
I actually just, after seeing San Antonio in the preseason and the way they came out of the gates last night.
I left them out. You're right.
I just think they're more well-rounded this year, believe it or not.
I completely agree with you.
The only
I do.
competition,
On
I
that.
don't buy the Celtics as a for real team.
Jared Wallace got
just because I think there's too much. But the team that I think is the only competition to the Cavs in the East is the Bulls. If Rondo can keep his head on straight, Dwayne Wade stays healthy, Jimmy Butler, that's going to be a solid squad.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be tough. I think Milwaukee's a sleeper team.
Yeah, Milwaukee. I mean, they're young.
Milwaukee's a sleeper team. I also like Miami a little bit still. They got drama down there, but I think they're
Toronto, they'll be back.
Between Hassan Whiteside and Goran Dragic, they got some guys that can play. Toronto, I actually think the East is starting to catch up to the West a little bit in terms of the number of quality teams.
Because you got the Knicks too. I don't buy that.
I don't buy them.
I just know Rose has about another 20 games left, and then
I mean it'll be interesting. I definitely see the gap between East and West closing. It's just crazy to say that the West is still, I think, by far the better conference, even though the champion's coming out of the East.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Boston upgraded with Horford, and that's a big-time upgrade for them. I like that for them. They'll be more competitive. They go deeper in the playoffs. You talk about Miami. I mean, Dragic was talking about I didn't sign up for this kind of shit, and with Papelbon stuff in Miami, so that just seems like a cluster to me.
Yeah, and I don't
like. That's why I was saying they got drama down there.
I have a real problem with Pat Riley too, the way he's handling this whole Chris Bosh thing. The fact that they came out and said that they might keep him on their roster and then release him
it's crummish.
Late in the season to where he's not allowed to sign with a team for the playoffs.
Well,
dude, that's a lot of veterans are going to see that around the league, and that'll be the last big-name free agent that Pat Riley signs.
Well, I mean, you got to look at both sides of the coin on that, too. You're not going to pay a guy that much money only to have him go walk and join somebody else for the playoffs. If he's healthy enough to play for somebody else in the playoffs, he should be healthy enough to play for you during the season. But I hear your point, and even if you back it up a step, he handled the Dwayne Wade situation horribly.
Oh, yeah.
He's handling the Chris Bosh situation horribly. And maybe it's time for Pat to just hang it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Take some of the power and hand it off to somebody else in Miami and just kind of fade into the background as the team president and quit pulling all the strings.
I agree.
What you got, Nails?
They disrespected Dwayne Wade.
No, I agree. The way, they disrespected Wade. They're disrespecting Bosch right now. Who, it's a major situation, diagnosis that he's going through. And talking blood clots that can kill you on spots. So he's handled that completely the wrong way.
You got a win total?
Well, Embiid just drove to the rack, and it should have been the hoop and the harm, and they called him on the charge.
On the floor. Oh, they called a charge?
But I think it was Oladipo, but he was moving. He was still moving. But whatever, charge. So I think it's 101-97 OKC. It's about 5 seconds left. OKC's ball.
That's right about where you wanted to be.
It's
Not
a
where
wrap.
you wanted to be, but where you
It's a wrap. Henderson had a chance for the tie. It looked like he got hit on the arm. No call. And then they went on a run. The other end, Westbrook to Oladipo, and B comes back, swats him from behind. They get the rebound, tip in.
Well, and that's also,
So
OKC getting the calls because they're the
better team.
And they're going to get those calls. But you know what? It's a good showing out of the Sixers for opening night.
it is.
Yeah, better than I expected. That line had to have been double digits.
Oh, it absolutely was double digits.
Yeah, and listen, you hopefully get Noel back in a week or two. You got Oak back. You got to get him. He's got a 12-minute restriction. Let's get his minutes up. That's going to be a help. So it's more positive.
And you just saw Embiid's able to play with two pretty good, not just play. Embiid's able to dominate with two pretty good big men in the NBA, Enes Kanter and Steven Adams.
Yeah. That's promising. That is definitely freaking promising. So, Eagles, Cowboys. Let me get to the poll question here. Give you all some results before we head out. Rob, do we got any good YouTube comments? Anybody worth sharing? I mean, we had a lot. I mean, they're all worth sharing.
J-Man 360 chimes in. Yeah, right. Dak is going to get sacked 8 times.
Oh.
I was probably in response to what I had to say. Smash Adams goes
Wait,
Cowboys.
hold on a second.
Oh,
Can we just back up?
Yep.
Sean, when you see this kid, go smack him. He's also the one that said last week that the Eagles were going to score 38 against the Vikings. Look, I love the kid's enthusiasm, but this guy's got to come back to reality. 8 sacks. Come on, man.
I mean, they had 6 against Minnesota.
And Dallas has the best offensive line in the league.
That is true.
J-Man needs to wake up.
You guys looking for a way to invest your money? I just came across this. It's not really an investment. I guess it would be more of like a sale. But this woman, 20-year-old woman, it doesn't have her name, but she's apparently broke, and she's auctioning off her virginity to provide for her family, and the current bid is over $400K.
Well, I will counter with this.
And she's not really a knockout.
If she's
You had
auctioning,
me before the price.
if she's auctioning off her virginity, I'm going to say she's probably not a virgin, and a hoe's got to eat too.
I don't want to offend any Hillary supporters listening, but I wouldn't pay $40 for this.
We got another.
How do you tie that to Hillary Clinton?
Because I know, she's for the women. Trump's disrespectful to women.
I don't even see that as a political thing. It's just a moronic thing. She's not, at least from what I saw, she's not hideous.
But $400K?
Not for $400K. I wouldn't even.
That's
do
just
that.
some
I wouldn't even do that for $400.
That's just a rich guy saying, "Yeah, I did that."
Either that or it's a fake bid.
Yeah, either or.
It's better than
Tommy. You look like you're kind of pissed off right now that they just dropped this game.
I am. I'm not happy. It ruined it. I need wins. I need a couple dubs.
Just think, 81-1.
It all starts today, baby. 81-1.
Oh my God, 81-1. We need Ben. This is, Ben and Embiid would look so beautiful together, what I'm saying. But listen, it's been a fun show. Our poll question, obviously, run away by Zeke. I got Eagles winning 27-17. The boys over here got Eagles winning. Rob, we're not even mentioning it because we all have the Eagles winning. But Rob. But so 3-1.
Doesn't matter what I think.
3-1. No, 3-1. So we outnumber. Hopefully that's a good thing for us this Sunday night.
You had me outnumbered last week, and you were right. So,
and I'm sure Danny would have picked him too. So
yeah, 4-1, Rob.
4-1.
We're winning. We won in the studio. It's all that matters. Sunday night, beat Dallas.
Even if we go 4-2 on Teron.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, we did lose Teron. Listen, for Teron Davenport joining us, for Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Sean Redden, Rob Povey on the 1s and 2s. It's been Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
HUDRadio.com. Thank you all for listening. This is brought to you by none other than BMW of Atlantic City. Find them on back to 37 The Parkway, online, BMWOfAtlanticCity.com. But every Wednesday night, our show sponsor, the best in the business, Gibson Mayer, LLC, your certified public accountant. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Again, thank you all for listening. Stay tuned. Friday morning, Ames Sports Showcase, the rundown after, then Philly Fan Radio. Agree, disagree, Sunday night, live during the Eagles game. Tune in. We out.
Peace.